Hey, hey, hey! Welcome back, everybody. How are you all doing? Let me get some background music on to start off with. And then I think we have a bit of a change today because we have Justin on today instead of obviously earlier in the week. How you doing, mate? Great to see you.
Likewise, I am fine, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Cannot complain at all.
Cannot and will not complain. Huh?
That is it. Yeah. How's everything going?
All right, I think. I feel we're very close to the moment in which everyone can rejoice.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know whether that's just hope that's talking. The charts would also indicate that brighter times are coming. What's this? Is this an updated? It looks like Bollinger Bands or something.
This is an updated one. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it or not. Yeah, this is the channels that Dean has added in.
Bollinger Bands.
Similar. No Bollinger Bands. This doesn't measure volatility, so to speak. It looks similar, doesn't it? It does look similar with the two bands, but yeah, it doesn't. Well, I don't know if Dean's in here. Maybe he can give a description of them. But to my knowledge, it's not quite what Bollinger Bands measure. But yeah, looks nice.
Yes,
Looks nice. I do like them a lot as well. We've been looking at them on stream quite a bit. John Brown, how we doing? Welcome to the stream. And yes, do make sure everyone hits that like button. Go and do it now. Take a second to hit that like button. Wizzo says, good afternoon, my two faves. Hello, Wiz. How we doing, mate? Great to see you. Wiz, obviously, fresh back from the Isle of Man. Back to hitting his stocks. He's at it again, isn't he? He had some good ones this week.
Yeah.
The guy is on fire. But yeah, make sure everyone does drop that like button. If you are over on X as well, make sure you head over to the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe if you aren't. And yeah, we'll get into it. Obviously, Bitcoin is down a little bit from yesterday. We are down at just around 107k and coming back in towards that kind of SR zone that we've been looking at over recent weeks.
Yeah.
Obviously coming in for another retest after we had one on Monday. So that's interesting. Obviously, we do have a CME gap open as well. So it is with the CME on the CME chart. It is from 105.745 to 105.060. Now there's not actually that much going on at the moment, but past few days there's been a bit of a premium on the CME exchange relative to crypto exchanges.
Yeah.
So I've had this drawn out kind of conservatively, like kind of mid 104 up to kind of 104.700-ish as a potential drop down on exchanges for the CME to come down to 105.060
right now, Dave.
With that premium. So we aren't too far away at all. Obviously, it's edging towards there, and you would obviously probably think as well, particularly if we break through this SR here, that this is more than likely the next stop, I would imagine, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, the S&P has been falling off at the same time, hasn't it, as well?
So we've got effectively, it would be a 2% drop to close it on the CME chart.
Yeah. Seems that way. It seems that way. Wiz says, how many likes for you both to ride in the TT next year? Never mind that. I think I would come over next year. I wouldn't ride.
I'll go with you, Wiz.
But yeah, I think we should all have a little trip over next year. I think that would be good. Yeah, did you notice how rude he was to not invite us this year?
Yeah, I know.
How bad's that? I thought we was all friends, but didn't get
I'm
one little invite from Wiz.
I'm not going to judge. It's so just looking at Bitcoin to close the CME. I have it also that you've got the very close there on the 4 hour, the 200 moving average at that point.
Right.
Well.
Yeah. Let's see, we can have a look at that. Are you looking at simple or EMA?
EMA.
All right, yeah. I can use this one, yeah. Yeah, there we go.
Bosh.
Right around there, yeah. Right around that level. So it seems as though, yeah, we might be coming in for that. So we'll keep an eye on it. Obviously, we'll see what develops through the stream. Particularly, we could accelerate. If we break through kind of this region, I think we could accelerate down pretty quickly, which would kind of get it over with. Sooner the better, if that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
no messing around.
I only really look at daily and weekly. So
yeah.
I have, as long as we're closing the week, if we close the weekly above 104.5,
mm-hmm.
I I still think it's only a matter of time before things go properly scatty.
Yeah.
But what we've got CPI or PPI, is it now?
Yeah, we got PPI today in 19 minutes. So we will see what comes in. Forecast of 3.1. We had a great reaction, obviously, off CPI yesterday. That was fun. That was good to watch on stream.
Well, the thing is, that bounced, didn't it? But then kind of died after that.
Yeah, it had a bit of a kind of what you normally associate in it with. It was here, wasn't it? Yeah, this was it. So obviously this was the candle, and then we kind of chopped around and then came back down towards the origin, then pumped all the way up in the afternoon to, just over 110, near 110 and a half. And then they've just been on a downward spiral since then, back down to just below 107.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we get today. I mean, this isn't massive. It's obviously a key. It's red importance. But I doubt we're going to get as much volatility as CPI. But still, definitely something for us to watch on stream and to see what happens there.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, so all around that CME gap, the 4 hour 200 EMA, and it's the monthly open area as well.
Yeah.
It seems like that's just going to get retested.
Yeah, it seems logical. I mean, we do have the S&P falling off at the same time as well. We've been falling off in the lead up, obviously, to US Open.
Yeah.
So that is down below 6,000 again. We've had a little, obviously, push up on the VIX as downwards action has been coming in. But obviously, your personal favorite gold is up 0.78% today. And I mean, ETH is pretty interesting. Okay, finally, after about 6 weeks, we got a test in this zone that we've had marked out for bloody ages. And obviously you can see, exactly kind of where it came into. So we came to a top of around like 27880-ish, weren't it? And we've got,
I had the daily level to gain on ETH at 2,750.
Yeah.
2,700, yeah. So we've closed the last 2 days above that level.
Yeah.
I strongly suspect that if we close the weekly above that, hold on to your hats, because I do believe that could be a very, very nice start to all season.
Mm-hmm.
Please make it so. I just want this shit show to be over with.
Yeah. I think probably loads of people do. But yesterday, obviously, we came up, we've swept liquidity above, obviously, these 2 wicks from the sell-off, this one and this one. So we've cleared them. We're yet to clear this one over here, this little guy on here. So we're yet to clear this left-hand side, but we've came into kind of this void here. And then, obviously, as we've had marked out, kind of 3-3 is where potentially we're up next if we can clear this zone here.
Yeah, I have got, once we clear, I've got 3-ish.
Yeah.
Is my ideal scenario.
Yeah, that's what I've had outlined. It makes sense. So we'll see what happens. Where's it saying ACN? Let's have a look at that. I have no idea what that is. Let's see. ACN.
Is this Wizard of Stocks?
I think Wiz only does stocks now, to be honest. I think he's fully converted, and most of me doesn't blame him.
I am fully with you.
Let's see. Let's have a look. Let's see what this thing is looking like. Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. This thing has barely moved. Well, obviously it has moved, but in terms of high time frame, it barely moved in a couple of years. So, even back to 2021, we're at the same level. So this is obviously marked out kind of like a big high time frame range, but you can see it's spent a lot of time trading within here, spent a lot of time trading in there. Then we pushed back up, back down, and it's kind of looks like it's formed kind of a pretty consistent range from here in between these two levels, green and red.
That's known as a very, very long accumulation process.
Yeah. So that's, I'm guessing, Wiz, that you are long on this, or obviously spot long, I'm guessing. Something that I have been looking at the last few days is Weeble. So I went and bought some Weeble yesterday.
What is Weeble, huh?
So Weeble is it's a kind of stock trading platform, like Robinhood and eToro and stuff like that. And this had its IPO, and obviously it just went absolutely scatty, and then come down like a illiquid altcoin. Look at the state of it. Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe this is start of accumulation around this zone after coming back down to obviously the price before it went parabolic back in here. So I have bought some of this, and hopefully on open I should get I took some wisdom off Wiz yesterday on how to long stocks instead of just buying them, because I have no idea. So hopefully my order on this on a CFD long should fill on US Open. So
what platform are you using for it then?
212, but I think I might want to switch over to something else. I don't know yet. Using 212 at the moment, but I think I've got a Hargreaves Lansdowne account. I don't think I have an eToro account.
I've got eToro.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna have a look across them anyway, because I think the problem with 212 is probably the most widely used one in it, but I don't think they're FDIC insured. I don't know. But I mean, I don't know what the likelihood is something wrong on with them. I assume probably there's mega money tied up on that platform. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm thinking maybe potentially
have you longed this on the basis of just general TA, some just guidance, or is this?
No, literally just on how the chart looks.
Marvelous.
Literally just on how the chart looks. Yeah. Typically, if this was an altcoin, you'd be looking for this obviously to accumulate like it's doing now. Yeah. Not go any lower, and then obviously at some point take off again. So literally just trading it as I would anything else.
What's the fees like on that sort of thing, Dave?
On what? On
to trade the CFDs on stocks.
I don't know what, because it's not that hasn't opened yet. I think yesterday I paid 0.5% to buy spot of it.
Right.
I think I paid 0.5%. Yeah. As a fee or whatever. I think. I've
only ever bought and sold stocks. I've never traded them.
Yeah. So I don't know what my I don't know what it's like for CFD. I don't know. Maybe Wiz can tell us.
Can't we just get Wiz copy trade?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do we not just get that? Come on, Wiz. Be the first to launch a Stonks copy trade. Oladell, thank you for joining. Great to see you. Much love. And he's listed a few here. We've got Tigo, Irin, Sezzle, all on the watch list. Mega move on Oracle. So maybe we'll look at some of these, because obviously Wiz is literally quite a whiz, especially of recent. I'm still bummed about that CoreWeave one. I really wish I would have took that. That one was insane. But yeah, there we go. On to the next.
I'm very impressed. It's generally speaking, as you know, my personal preference is not to day trade crypto too much, because especially on the low time frames, I think it's just bonkers in hindsight. I don't mind doing it for certain things, but
yeah,
there are way better assets to trade, in my opinion.
I'm just going to add these so I don't forget Sezzle.
Get some more in there, Dave.
Yeah, let's get them all in there. There we go. We'll take a look at them later as well. We'll save them for a bit later on.
What's the thoughts on crypto in general, Dave?
I don't know.
Let me rephrase that. Let me start even wider than that. What's your views on the world economy at the moment, and what's likely to come next?
I think we are going to have something very soon that kind of lights up, you know, a meltdown. I think probably maybe into next year.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I don't know what's going to cause the unwind. But I mean, the thing that I've pretty much noticed is that, like, even even if you're looking TradFi now, you can just see the mass amount of liquidity that's in there.
Yeah.
Like, literally stocks basically perform like crypto now, don't they? I mean, look at Tesla's movement of recent. It's insane the way that they move. They never used to move like that. If you look at, if we go and have a look at Tesla now.
Well, Tesla has always been one of the more volatile.
Yeah. But I mean, especially its movement. I mean, you look at it, and you look at all of them as well. Obviously, we're going back a couple of years, but what probably is to come has come from obviously the past 5 years or so. But you look at all of them. They never traded like this before. Obviously, all this liquidity got injected in 2020, and then carried on getting injected throughout 2021.
Yeah,
it just doesn't. Yeah, it just doesn't look sustainable. I mean, obviously, even before that, Apple was only $50 or so. Now it's over. It come up to 250. Like the amount of liquidity that's across the stock market as well is just like insane, to the point where you get things like this. I mean, look at that. You wouldn't think that was a stock, would you? You would think that was an altcoin.
Yes.
Like, that is just insane.
I mean, it does happen. Like I say, if you look at when we looked at before, you look at like the likes of PayPal and Intel.
Oh yeah.
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to Wiz about it the other day. I'm not personally touching stocks. Trading them, I'd consider it.
Yeah.
The actual like buying, I'm going to wait until we get the next smash in the market, which I don't think. I think will happen in the next 12 months.
Yeah, I mean, I've only bought Webull. It's the only stock I own.
Yeah,
it's the only stock I own, and that is like, it's either going to be boom or bust. It's either going to carry on bottoming out here and go on a recovery rally, or it's going to drop another 20, 30, 40%, whatever.
Yeah,
but I was doing a bit of research into it. I believe they've got a lot of cash on hand as a company. I think they've got about 1.5 billion in cash, and the stock is only a 5 billion market cap. So, for something like this that has a lot of users and stuff like that, they've got to kind of, I would imagine anyway, I don't know this for a fact, but you would imagine they've got to try and save face and not let the users just be absolutely crushed by this downtrend. If anyone got, if they got caught in it or whatever, I have no idea.
I'll tell you what's also coming up to a very, very, very important kind of bit of SR is the DXY. I don't know if you've looked at the DXY of late.
No, I haven't, but yeah, you can pull up your chat, or do you want me to? I've got it loaded up here.
I'm happy to chuck mine on, Dave.
Yeah, go on.
What we got? Fine.
Let's have a look. We've got Crypto Pappy. How we doing, mate? Great to see you. We've got Jeff, absolute legend, Jeff. How are we doing? I'll put you on now, mate. There you go. You are live. We got Wiz saying no juice left in stocks to buy and hold. In, out with CFDs and options. Yeah, I would probably. I mean, would you be buying any of the Mag 7 now?
Absolutely not.
No, like the ones that you would buy are obviously the ones probably that you've bought recently, isn't it? Where, you know, they're at like a certain point and you think, okay, this has probably got, you know, juice to run. You know, this has got the potential to go 30, 40 maybe. Obviously, in CoreWeave's perspective, a couple of X.
Where I generally, again, I was speaking to Wiz about it the other day. My personal preference for stocks is every 3 years or so, you'll get a massive 3 or 4 years, you'll get the big pullback, or you'll get a proper crash. Apologies for the noise, that's my carpenter doing.
It's all right, mate.
So, yeah, I tend to wait for that because then you basically double your money normally within 2 years, and then you just rotate into other stocks, or you just chuck it into a fund, like an ETF tracker, that's a big tracker. So yeah, this is my little DXY chart, and yeah, I think if this doesn't hold here, the dollar is coming down, which for those that don't know is very good for crypto.
Yeah. And obviously good as well for everyone who has a lot of pounds.
Yep.
You know, if that happens, then suddenly your pound is worth, I mean, it's already worth, I think 10% more in it than it was. This is something I was actually discussing on stream the other day that I found interesting. Because obviously the pound had gained about 10% on the dollar since Trump came in.
Yeah.
So, to my knowledge anyway, and my maths that I was doing in my head on stream, I believe obviously Bitcoin's around the same levels as it was, you know, when it spiked in January to 109k. But obviously with holding it, you know, with it being marked in dollars, say if you're, you know, like a British citizen and obviously your native currency is in pounds, you're actually 10% down on Bitcoin, because obviously if you then sell it in dollars now and convert it into pounds, the pound is obviously stronger than dollars by 10%. So I thought that was a bit interesting because I hadn't thought about it like that since I went and looked at a couple of the currencies the other day on stream.
Yeah.
And yeah, I found it quite interesting, obviously looking at it. So yeah, it's obviously it's good for anyone holding pounds or, you know, whatever. Bad for anyone holding stables, pretty much. If you want to sell them, if you're not planning on selling your stables, it really don't mean jack shit, does it?
No, exactly. But yeah, it's quite funny just looking at the different indexes and stuff. Everything is pretty close to being recovered after the fall.
I mean, it's a perfect V, isn't it?
Oh yes, it was always likely to happen. But yeah, this looks to me all right. Did oil went up crazy early, didn't it? Yeah.
I didn't see.
Yeah, oil because of the whole Iran-Israel thing. Right, we've got. Bear with me. We've got 21 seconds. I'll put it on the. What do you want it? 1 minute, 5 minutes, 3 minutes?
Yeah, stick it on the 1 minute. That's fine. Yeah. BPN Mega, how we doing, mate? Great to see you. For anyone else that has joined, please do make sure you drop a like. Scroll down. It only takes a second.
Dave, one word, up or down?
I'm gonna go up.
Up. Here we go.
I think it's probably a catalyst to go and squeeze some late shorts, maybe at this point. What have we got? 3% it came in at.
Yeah.
3%.
There's not much move so far.
No, it's not. It's an interesting one. It can sometimes be quite good for volatility.
Yeah.
And then other times, kind of just, it doesn't really do anything. But I mean, it's a tiny one. It's nowhere near what we had yesterday with CPI, but we've got a little bit of movement.
No, but the thing is, tomorrow we've got the University of Minnesota, the sentiment kind of stuff. Then there's FOMC next week. Is that right? Next week?
Next Wednesday, isn't it? Yeah.
Is that likely? Do we know if that's likely to?
I can pull it up. Hang on. I'll pull it up. I think the vast probability is just a hold of rates, I think.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Hang
I
on.
need to stop sharing now.
I'm just loading it up, and then I can throw mine on.
Oh.
Let's see. Yeah. So I'll take yours off and throw mine on a sec. Yeah. So there we go. So we've got a 90. Interesting that this time, actually, I've not seen this in a while. But obviously, we've got the current rate, 99.6% probability. So, pretty much the market is almost fully pricing in a hold of rates. But for the first time in a while, the other option is a raise. I've not seen that in a while. But obviously, coming in at a very extremely slim chance is a 25 basis point hike, which I don't know. I'm not exactly sure why that is the other. I've not seen that in a long while. But I mean, could you imagine the chaos if the Fed hiked rates? Christ, it would actually be like a bloodbath. It would kill everything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know what the cause for that is, because you would assume that they've reached a terminal rate, but obviously there must have been some whispers or something discussed. I have no idea to cause that. So, let's have a look at potentially the ghost of Christmas future, as you like to say, isn't it, on some stuff?
Yeah.
So for July, the end of July is the next meeting after the June one. That is coming in at 77.1% of a hold, and then a 25 basis point cut of 22.6%. And then the Fed takes a break for August, and then back mid-September, obviously for the run towards the end of the year. And that is a bit more skewed to the short side, obviously. We've got that one is the current one, so that's 24.3. A 60% probability of a 25 basis point cut, and a 15.6% chance of a 50 basis point cut.
And a 0.1% chance.
Oh yeah. Of a hike. Yeah, we can't forget about that, yeah. So yeah, there we go. Obviously that is a long while away. We've got 2 Fed meetings, 3 bunches of CPI data, and God knows whatever else coming in until then. But yeah, that is what we've got. Likelihood is it's going to be a nothing burger. We'll probably get literally nothing on that meeting again.
I'm just looking at potential catalysts for what's going to actually send us, or what's going to be the catalyst to actually just give us all season. And
yeah,
at the moment, not much.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously ETH has gained on Bitcoin again, and currently it's obviously holding. If we look at the 1 week, we're massively up from where we started the week. I think that must be about 15-20% maybe.
Yeah.
If I'm right, I don't know. Let's see. Let's check. Oh no, never mind. 8% up on the week. So it's slowly, obviously after a few weeks of consolidation, slowly looking like.
Yeah, I've got a level on it. It
wants to make its way up.
Far from breaking. I have. I'll chuck it back up in a second, Dave.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Do I need to do? You need to flip the screen over.
Oh yeah, I'll flick over towards you. Hang on. Yeah, there you go.
Right. So ETH Bitcoin. I have it. Let's chuck it weekly because it's just easier. I have it that we need to flip this level here into support. So we're touching on it, but I think obviously it'd be great to just get a straight V shape on this.
Mm-hmm.
But the good thing is at least it's showing some form of life.
Yeah.
Because it just looks like it was looking like a bag of dicks, basically. That weren't good.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely slowly creeping up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. What it's one thing that's obviously not is Sol. I think Sol is losing. I think Sol, particularly Sol Bitcoin, has definitely topped out.
Sol Bitcoin.
Yeah, I can't see. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, I suppose it depends on what side of the fence you sit on, but I don't know whether Sol has just topped out for this cycle or not. To be honest,
no. I don't believe so.
I think it might have. I don't know. I suppose it depends on how high you see things going, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, where are we going to need to gain? Probably above here. I think that's probably the level to gain, isn't it? Get above that.
Yeah.
So my personal view, for what it's worth, is if you look at dominance, I'm hoping that this was the top here.
Mm-hmm.
That's done. This lovely trend line has been broken. It retested my little point this week.
Yeah.
Which is good. So where I will be super confident that we are going to start seeing altar run is when we break here. We get that daily change of character. That to me is where all season starts. Like really in earnest, and I think to get that, hide that, can't see that. I think we need to be up like kind of here. So I think once Bitcoin gets up here, that's when I think you'll see alts go particularly crazy. Not long. Not long, Dave. But Sol, Bitcoin and stuff like that, I'm not overly fussed about. The only charts I really care about are looking at total one, as you know.
Yeah.
Total, there you go. So once we get above here, that's one thing. Dominance to break below here. Once that happens, all will be well in the world. We're manually testing a new strategy on gold as well, Dave.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
So far, it's given 12 trades today. It's been 1, 2, 3, so 12, so 75% win rate.
Do you think gold has maybe topped out high time frame, or do you think it's got more room to go?
Let me find you a chart. I done one the other day. Let's see what I'm doing on. No, not that.
It would be good if it had on them things the last time you viewed that certain ticker, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so if you're just looking at where gold is, this looks like we've completed here. There is somewhere down here, where is it? There is gap still from the other day. Yeah, down here, 3,289. That needs to be 3,289. Down here kind of thing. that needs to be filled in, but it doesn't necessarily. But this to me looks like it's gearing up to break range.
Yeah.
And then from there, I guess you'll be looking at somewhere in the region of here. That's the next range. 3,600, 3,700.
Yeah.
Not financial advice. It's my view.
Well, the thing is as well is if you're expecting some sort of correction in the markets and whatever it is that ignites it, you would imagine that gold won't be done on its high time trajectory until after that. You would think.
Yeah, it will lag. So the last time, the last elections, it distributed for like 4 years. Something stupid like that. But I mean, everything's kind of like this is the 10-year bond. Is it today that there's bond auction? Or is it tomorrow?
I have no idea.
Yeah, 10 and 30 year, I think it was. But
I have no idea on that.
So, yes, I do believe it goes up a bit more. I'll tell you what I've been looking at today, Dave, that you will remember all too well, was data ownership protocol.
Oh, yes.
I've done a chart on it.
I remember this.
So, I decided to put some illustrations on there. Look at it now. So I looked this morning. The market cap, Dave, was down to 1.8 million, 1.89 million.
I think it's crazy that is still even that when you look at the chart in it. Like the fact it's still around the 2 mil mark is just crazy.
But you look at the market cap, and then you look at 24-hour volume.
Yeah,
it's still trading.
Oh yeah.
My personal view, not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. I actually, once this shows a tiny bit of life, maybe like a gain above here,
yeah,
I'm just gonna buy a little bag of it.
Can you actually trade it anywhere still?
You can buy it on spot.
You just can't perps trade it.
I don't know. Let's have a look.
Want me to have a look quick?
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you know what? I haven't heard that ticker in a good long while now.
That's why I thought of you when I looked at it, though. I know.
So, yeah, I mean, spot-wise, it's still on Bybit. Mexico.
The great barometer, you can't even trade it on Mexi.
All right.
So I would suggest.
Interestingly enough, the vast majority of that volume is coming from HTX, which is between HTX and Gate. Have got basically all that volume. Yeah, you can't trade it anywhere on perps.
Yeah.
Nowhere. Well, you can one place called KCEX, like KSEX.
I just assume at some point, right? If you, again, definitely not financial advice, put a few pennies in it here. At some point, you're going to get these kind of candles where it's just going to go like this, just to get people out of their positions. So as long as you're not greedy with it, it's either going to go down a bit more and you lose a bit of money, or it's going to go up.
Yeah.
So look, this is another wonderful chart, Dave. Look at this. Fire.
Matrix?
Yeah. What a load of shite this is. But I did notice it was one of these ones that, again, it pumped earlier. Just depending. I'm not there yet, but at some point, some of these projects that look this bad are just going to put in 1,000% candles and shit like that.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, the thing is as well. These are probably some I've never heard of this particular token, but even large caps are looking. Some of them are looking like this, aren't they? Where they just, you've got ones like DOT and stuff that are down at the 5-year lows. So
Dot or dot?
DOT.
Polka dot.
Yeah, that's basically at the same level as where it was at in 2020.
Yeah, I mean it's on the weekly. This is clearly getting suppressed, isn't it? For whatever reason, it's getting suppressed. It's at a base here, but I think the safest place to enter would be if you gained above this level. It's just a bit punty still down here.
Yeah, it's the altcoin market is fascinating because we've got some real strength in some of them, haven't we? Obviously hype. There's a few others. Obviously, this week particularly, anything tied to ETH has done exceptionally well. Uniswap, Compound, Arbitrum, OP, RA. Although they probably give.
The thing is, you still look at them and you go. So you look at ARM. I mean, it still looks really. It's not until you get here that it's probably a safe entry. On ARM. They just look terrible. This was another one that scam pumped down those, wasn't it? Axelar, I've done 70% in one day.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that is. AXL. Nick, how you doing, mate? Great to see you. For anyone else that's just joined, please do make sure you drop a like, scroll down, hit the like button now while we are running through.
So you are getting these ones where they're starting to do these little random run-ups. What happened to Cetus? Did that recover? No, that still looks terrible.
Yeah, I didn't check that. Apps. Yeah, someone asked about apps. I think it was either on Monday or might have even been Friday, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, that's kind of at a point in it of obviously it's not quite there down at its launch lows, but
no,
it's kind of it's in and around there.
Well, the thing is, you have got, and again, it's up to each individual. You are in a very discount zone underneath here, but you've also got the distinct possibility that it just keeps going forever.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, a lot of these, and I think that is probably the perfect chart to see it, is that literally just runs well when the rest of the market is running well. You can see it there in leading into 2024. Obviously, that was when Bitcoin started its push up on the anticipation of the ETFs getting approved when it went to 40k. Then obviously after that, when it pumped up, and then we had the big altcoin pump up after Bitcoin reached new all-time high, and then started going sideways, and then you can see it again, pretty much rinse and repeat end of last year, end of 2024. So you can see just the pattern on, and a lot of these are the same. Is they're just waiting on obviously that Bitcoin breakout.
Yep.
Then Bitcoin to start shooting up, and you'll probably we'll probably get. I mean, each time that has gone lower on it, you can see obviously it's had its all-time high, and then it's had kind of one pump a year. 2023, bang, and then the 2024 one, bang, didn't go as high, got close, didn't go as high. And then later in 2024, again, bang, but didn't go as high. So, I don't know whether it keep the same trend or not, but you would assume maybe a $10 plus.
But the thing is, for what I suspect is going to happen is some of these are going to pump, and you're going to get at least, and it's only a 2x, but at least to this bit here. So the December, November highs. So, and if you get above that, then you've got your change character, because at that point, like you say, it's quite easy to put a lower high.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where what I'm measuring off is at the moment, where would we need to close above, which is above this wick here, to say you've completed the low and we're going to start moving in the other direction.
Yeah.
But it's quite it's 2x. Just what's the market cap of Aptos?
It's still pretty big. I think when I looked at it, it was about 3 billion.
Yeah.
It's still a pretty big one. But yeah, I mean, you can see it on a lot of these charts. You could probably, I mean, DOT that we just looked at is probably the exact same when you look at it. Literally, these altcoins are just they just move as soon as Bitcoin starts any proper upside momentum and starts to break out. Then that's when they start to move, and then obviously they get the final kind of parabolic push up when Bitcoin starts to go sideways and money starts rotating.
Yeah.
And it is literally just rinse and repeat on every, you can see that every single time there on Aptos.
So some other semi-useful information. So if you look at Uniswap, very close to a gain level here. I don't know if we claim gain on so we have gained on the daily on Uni. So if this holds, then this could push up pretty quickly. So what is also therefore worth looking at is the likes of Sushi. Because obviously that's another DEX that can push up. And then one of my favourites, 1 inch. I think again, once this is gained on here, it's gonna run.
Yeah, pretty easy range, that, isn't it? You can see.
Yeah,
like,
it's a 2x.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty. I mean, that is just ping pong in it between the range, high and low.
This was one of yours at one point, wasn't it, Dave? Banana.
It was, yeah, banana. Yeah.
What is it? Is this?
It's like it started off on. I think it was mostly on Telegram, and it was just it was a trading bot.
Yeah.
I think it's across all chains, and I think it was either close or does get like the most volume and across them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it did go pretty high from where. Yeah. I mean, obviously that's the Bybit chart, but when it launched, I think it first obviously just launched on maybe a few low ones, and then DEX tools. And when it came out the trap, it was like
is that it?
Yeah, it was like a couple dollars. So it did have a meteoric run. It went like 20x from where it launched.
October 23, is that about right?
Yeah, I'll tell you
what it's still done like a 10x kind of thing.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it came out as. I'll be able to find out. I haven't looked at that in a while though. That is there we go. I've got it. Hang on. I'll tell you exactly. So that came on. Hang on. Yeah. So in October, that came on DEX tools at $8, and then settled. Oh no, this is in 23. Sorry, settled around the $5 mark before it went up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other ones have you been looking at late, Dave?
I'll be honest.
things like e-gold, and just stay to it.
Yeah.
But they're very easy, and like these things, because once you gain above these levels, even if it doesn't, once it gains the daily here, essentially all I'll be doing is entering some of these trades as perp trades, and as soon as it's above, enter the trade, stop loss at that gain level, and then see if it just rides up.
Yeah, and the thing with e-gold is as well is, everything is there for it to have like a SUI, type of run.
Yeah.
It's just obviously I don't really know what kind of the whole strategy is, to be honest, and I've never really understood it. I don't think a lot of people ever have. But in terms of the network and stuff, it's fantastic. It's just, maybe it's how they market it, or I've no idea. But if they can get something right, then everything is there fundamentally for that to have like a SUI type of run that we saw last year.
Yeah.
It's just whether it will or not is a different question.
This is so FET. I think this looks pretty good to me. So you can see the liquidity and the candles here.
Yeah.
This is just building, and I can just see this just exploding straight past this point.
Yeah, I mean, look at that in early last year. That was insane.
Yeah.
That was like a 10x, wasn't it, in a matter of weeks?
Yeah.
Dave.
But there's so many of them. If you go from where we are now to like November, December highs, all of them got 2x.
If you want us to have a look at any tickers as well, make sure you get them in the chat. Don't be shy. Get your tickers in the chat, and obviously make sure you are subscribe. If you're watching over on X, make sure you head over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. But yeah, get your tickers in the chat, guys, or anything you want to say or ask, get them in.
Filecoin, I mean, state of that. Nice accumulation range, but it's just so many of them just look the same.
Yeah, I mean, something I think with a lot of these, especially these are ones that have been around. Like your Filecoin and your dots and stuff like that. They've been around now. Some of them into the third cycle. Some of them, obviously into the second. Just you won't see these around, I don't think, in a couple of years. You can see.
We were talking about the other day, weren't we? That it's just
they are just hanging on, aren't they? They're hanging on, but they'll just be they just can't. Things like this won't be able to cope with a bear market. It'd be impossible.
It depends how much of a run up they get.
Yeah, well, that's true. I suppose it depends on how high of a cliff they can form.
But there's just a lot of them that look. This looks alright as well, same as FET. Kind of just building.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the good thing with that is, that pretty much revisited the origin, didn't it, of that parabolic run, and where it bottomed out at like $6-7. Pretty much,
candles,
yeah.
How much liquidity is there?
Yeah, and it came down and pretty much hit that origin right on the head.
Yep.
Of that impulse up. So
yeah, I mean, if you're looking for market structure retest, that is pretty much bang on there, right?
Yeah, right across there. Hello, Debut. How we doing? Great to see you. Are there any memes that are showing strength with decent entry spots? I mean, I don't know about decent entry spots, but one that is showing strength is obviously SPX. That thing has just gone absolutely nutty.
What's that? SPX?
Yeah, SPX. Yeah, just crazy. The thing is, I don't know what it's done the past day, if it's pulled back or not.
SPX?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was at all-time high when I was. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, I mean, the strength on that is insane. From where it bottomed out, it's
yeah. So
it's on its way. definitely the meme with the most momentum at the moment, for sure.
This looks like this will get bugged at some point, won't it?
Well, they all will, won't they? You know, they all will. We saw what happened to memes the last time. You know, down 90+%. It will happen again eventually.
Yeah.
James says, any thoughts on SHIB? It's certainly not the newest hype coin. However, could we expect? Yeah, I mean, SHIB is interesting because I think one thing I never see is anyone talking about SHIB, but it's still holding its high market cap. You know, it's still second by market cap. You just kind of like, what's it? Oh, it's Binance US. That's right. Just one weird thing with SHIB is like you just never see anyone say that they're trading SHIB. But I mean, in terms of where it's at, I think this will probably be one where, again, kind of like we discussed with Aptos, James, and a few others, it will just follow the market. So obviously, it's really yet to have any pump on it. You know, when you look at other memes, you know, you look at like pretty much any meme. You know, like your Whiff, Popcat, Fartcoin, SPX, Peanut. It's really not had any sort of pump at all. So I do probably think it's probably one of them that just moves because it's such a high market cap. It will probably move alongside the rest of the market. So like when, you know, we get that Bitcoin breakout,
Doge and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, like Doge. Yeah, I mean, Doge is, you know, Doge is really yet to move on it, you know, as well. So it'll be one of them where, you know, Bitcoin breakout starts to build momentum while Bitcoin's breaking out. Bitcoin starts to consolidate, money flows into altcoins, and then obviously, you know, all that jazz that we get with the rest of the large caps. It'll probably fall into that category, I would imagine. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of an interesting one. Does it? I mean, my long-term probably view on SHIB is it probably does over the next couple of years lose a lot of its market share to other memes, just because I don't see any sort of reason why it's as large as it is. I don't know.
No.
But I mean, that doesn't really matter. You know, you just trade the price. Yeah.
We haven't really come back to like if it retests down here.
Yeah.
Sweeps this sell side, buy side liquidity at this point.
Yeah.
There.
But let me know what your thoughts are, James. Where do you see SHIB going? So he's expecting a 3x. So what would it be back towards them highs that we've had? Because we've obviously got clear weekly resistance there, haven't we?
This is back to November. So
yeah. So what would that be?
1.5x to get to there.
Yeah. So that would be, you know, that would be 150%. 1.5x. I mean, yeah, if everything,
there's better returns to be had. I mean, if you want to flick through stuff, this is again, this is just level by level. So if you look at Whiff, where this was, so that's your November high. So that would be 5x, 4.5x. To get to where that is, but really the safest place to enter this would be again above here. So where this is. The thing is, you can get, if you do, I don't know, 3x on some or 2x on one coin, and then you do 2x on another, then you rotate it, you are able to rotate it, you get some decent returns that way. This is going to go nuts at some point. Trumpy. Again, once it gains above this level, I'd say it's pretty good at Trump. I'll get the same. It's one of your favourites, Dave. Move down. Melania. This one I'm going to have a go at. Goats. In fact, I might buy some of that today. So to get back to November, your 12x. I think.
We've got Debut Master saying, I think AI memes will fly massively. What AI memes are you maybe looking at? I don't really know I can't say any AI memes off the top of my head. I don't think.
You can say it, Dave.
Any AI memes. We've got James saying a pump to 0.25. I think it just depends on obviously how strong the overall market pump is for SHIB. Is what I would imagine. Like, you know, you get a really good alt season.
I can't see it outperforming, put it that way.
You what?
I can't see it outperforming other.
No, it would probably move alongside, won't it? You would think. But I suppose anything is possible. You know, there was a time when SHIB was the poster boy, weren't it? It was like everywhere. And it was advertised on everything. SMFC, how we doing, mate? Great to see you. It's the Millennia chart. Oh, that's one I've not checked in ages.
There you go, Dave.
Oh, that is just farcical, isn't it? That is horrendous. Let's see.
So market cap's 227 million.
And it's probably still got about 70, maybe less, just less of the supply to be released. Yeah. Blimey, that is shocking. What are your thoughts on the Trump chart?
2 secs. I'm just going to look at.
But SMFC, great to see you. Have you been here the whole time, or have you just jumped in? Was you lurking in the shadows?
So Trump is very easy for me. So anything below this line is madness and a huge gamble. Above here is fine. Above here is better. As a safe entry, so it's better. But my personal view is I still do not believe that Trump is going to be entirely destined to be a meme coin forever.
I think it was one of the days this week that we were discussing it on stream, and obviously, you know, he's done the whole dinner thing as one utility, but I think, you know, as far as like what they can do with it, I think something to do with tax would obviously be the best outcome for it in terms of if you're looking for upside action, you know, and whether that be just like, you know, you hold a certain amount of Trump and you get your crypto holdings tax free, or you get a tax reduction on your obviously capital gains. I mean, if they manage to do something with obviously federal income tax, that would be wild. But I think that seems like the logical place where you would say, how does Trump get value in the market? It would be like, if you own a certain amount of Trump, you get capital gain 0%. That would just obviously catapult it massively.
Did you watch the Secretary Besson Q&A in front of Congress yesterday?
No, I seen some quotes on X. I saw some quotes of him come out.
Oh man, it was funny. It's like the obviously the Democrats after him big time. Did you not say this? Did you not say it? And they never let anyone speak, each other speak. And it's like, all you got to do is answer yes or no.
And what was it that they was querying him on?
It was to do with the big, the great big beautiful bill or whatever it's called.
Oh right, yeah.
Just comedy gold.
Unbelievable.
Any other coins that people have asked for, Dave?
I don't think so. No, not yet. Anyway, so if you do have any, get them in. You can get them in the chat. Obviously, do make sure you drop a big like on the stream. Make sure you're subscribed. And, of course, sign up to BLOFIN. It is the first link in the description. I'll put it in the chat now as well. If you want to trade non-KYC, it is there for you. And you get yourself some great welcome bonuses with that link as well. So make sure you click that and sign up on BLOFIN. But, yeah, I don't know. I think... Let me have a look. What's that?
Ton. You like a bit of ton, didn't you?
Ton, yeah, I've not looked at that in a few weeks, but I do. I am partial to a bit of ton. Yeah, you know me too well. I tell you what is interesting, and obviously one that doesn't isn't really getting any sort of hype about it is XMR. I think we looked at it last week, did we?
We did.
Monero.
Yes.
That thing is obviously just very interesting because of the nature of it. It is at historical highs, like relative to kind of the area that it's in. It's not hit an all-time high yet, but around about the area that it came to has been close to where.
When was it that it just sold off massively?
I don't know. It's been delisted a few times. It's been delisted off Binance. I don't know whether it was even listed on Coinbase in the first place, but I think it's been pretty much delisted off all the big ones like Binance, Bybit, and stuff. So some of them drops that you can see there, maybe probably like that one early 2024 there, maybe that was like a Binance delisting or something that looked like a big drop.
Like if you actually look at this and you look at it just from a TA standpoint.
Oh yeah.
Looks right to me.
Well, what you've got, someone pointed out in the chat to me the other day when we looked at it, and they were completely right, is that, in terms of obviously the chart, very healthy because, compared to other tickers that have been around for ages, it found its level of demand and it held it. All along that, it spent years, didn't it, in there, and it found its demand level. And it never dropped to new lows and carried on going lower and lower and lower. It stayed within its box. And then obviously eventually got the breakout.
Yeah.
But I assume probably I think there's probably some ulterior motive behind this, you would imagine.
Yeah.
Some people maybe wanting to move some money around without it being trackable. That is obviously all what it's.
Do you still like Pith, mate?
I don't think I've ever really took much attention to it, to be honest.
What was is this AI? If I'm trying to think.
I don't know.
Which was the one that got delisted? That was AI, and then it absolutely crapped the bed.
Oh, PAL.
PAL, that's it. PAL.
Yeah, that was it. PAL. PAAL.
Yeah. Is that recovered?
I have no idea. Let's take a look. Not really.
Some of these, like just chart standpoint wise, as long as it kind of holds here, it looks like it's poised to make a nice run up, personally.
Yeah, I mean, so you would imagine as soon as AI starts to run it would be like kind of, because these sectors obviously they're more concentrated, aren't they? So it's not like you're waiting for the whole altcoin market like with memes that we saw. Most memes have done 3, 4, 5x off the bottom.
Yeah.
So you'd imagine, as soon as AI gets kind of
has its time.
Yeah, it's obviously a lot more smaller concentration, so it's easier for them to just pump in tandem with each other. So you'd imagine at some point, as soon as AI hits, all these AI ones will maybe rise together.
Yeah.
James, how we doing? I've not seen you in bloody ages, mate. Hello, how you doing? Great to see you in the chat, mate.
This is genuinely the extent of my TA for the most part. Weekly, daily, a couple of lines, decide if I'm entering or not.
Well, the point at where altcoins are, if you're looking obviously at positioning yourself, unless you are like a serial scalper, there's obviously not, with these ones anyway, there's not a whole lot of point of taking focus of the 1 minute, the 1 hour chart or anything, is there, because you're looking probably to position yourself for a couple of X if you are positioning.
I didn't take this trade because I was talking to you, Dave, but another gold win.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh dear.
There we go.
better things to trade than crypto.
But if you do want, if you've got any questions or whatever it may be, get them into the chat and we will take a loot.
Do you remember this, Dave, when we was on there?
Oh, yeah.
And it was, I think, probably daily.
It was meant to do the W, and it just...
That was it there.
It was... No, it was higher. It was higher, I think. Was it? I thought, was it not that upper level there?
Yeah.
No, higher. That one, like at the top.
Was it?
I think it was that, yeah.
Yeah. We was right, it just got to the wrong point.
Yeah, just the wrong W.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if they're trying to write worm somewhere.
Yeah. And then they open up the hole and the rest of the liquidity flows into it. Save says, I was getting Road Mike Boom Arm Envy yesterday. So I've bought a second-hand one from eBay with yesterday's gains. Very nice, mate. He was jealous of my mic arm, was he? Yeah.
Mic arm.
Yes.
What else is pumped and dumped?
I don't.
Look at the state of this.
I can't actually think.
Some of these coins have got to. So you look at, like, people are asking about meme coins. This is genuinely a good project. So Celestia, to get back to November high from where we are now, it's 3.5x.
Mm-hmm.
And this good project with decent VC, and it's just been ground into oblivion.
Yeah.
What's Sue looking like?
It's just like, it's weird, isn't it? Because it's just not what the attention is on. Like, the attention literally is just like memes and then a select of a few things in it, like hype and...
Well, like we were saying the other day, a lot of
stuff.
people have just given up, I think, on all coins.
Yeah.
Genuinely think, and which is good, because at some point they will come good, I'm hoping, and people are gonna be the exit liquidity. I don't mean to call people exit liquidity, but our friend OM, what does that mean? Like?
Yeah, I haven't looked at that in a while. Well, no. Actually, we were looking at it yesterday. It plummeted again. It is fascinating, that, and I do wonder at what point do they just be like, surprise, we're relaunching the ticker. You know what I mean? Like, we're just, we're doing a rebrand or something, and fresh ticker, fresh chart.
Yeah, I would suggest that,
because that is on the chart forever now. That 90% drop in it, forever.
Yeah. I am going to put alert just here on this candle and see if that gets a reaction. But what's the market cap of this now?
Must be tiny now.
Just. Would you say that's the biggest rug of the cycle, or DOP?
I would say it's weird, isn't it? Yeah, because unlike DOP, obviously people put the money into the pre-sale and stuff, and just never got it back. Where OM did like a 400x, and basically you could have bought at any point there to the left. You could have bought at any point for like nearly a year, and you would have ended up in profit at some point. Where DOP, people just never even got a chance to get in profit, did they?
No.
So I would say probably that. But I mean, in terms of the fall off, it is by far the worst fall off that we've seen. Down 90% on like a multi-billion-dollar
project.
In a day, in a day or 2 days, whatever it was.
I'll tell you what, alts look terrible just flicking through these. What about what's his name's favourite? Fartcoin. This is another one that just. So you got this, and what was that other one you were mentioning a minute ago?
Which one?
SPX.
Oh, SPX.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the attention is fully on SPX and Fartcoin. I think, they're the two at the moment that have obviously got the most attention and where liquidity is going. SMFC says, for now, boys, there's always chance for a bigger rug. Yeah, I assume probably we will see something else before the cycle is over of maybe that magnitude or close. There's always time.
Yeah. So
yeah,
where does Fartcoin go from here, Dave?
I don't know. Like I'm really skeptical on like the numbers that get plucked out of thin air on these. Yeah. Like now obviously SPX has ran to where it's at. You've got people go, $10 SPX. For it to do another 5x. Like, I don't know. I mean, Fartcoin, I could definitely see, to be fair, I could definitely see it making another high, but I think from this point on, it relies on, I think it's latching on now closer to Bitcoin momentum because it started so early. And obviously, it's blew a lot of its momentum. I think probably now, if Bitcoin was to fall off now, I think that would potentially maybe it's done. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could see it making a new high because of it's got like a real cult following. Like these two ones, SPX and Fartcoin, like the holders of it, and just like the feeling around it, it's like a proper like cult mentality. Yeah. Where the others, obviously, I think people more see them as obviously just ways to make money and stuff. But I think these two particularly are the ones where you do get them people that would hold this probably another 5x and not take a cent of profit. Do you know what I mean? Like you'll have them say Fartcoin to 100 billion and stuff. Particularly them two, they could go anywhere. But I mean, any others, I would have got rid of personally. Your Moodeng, your Peanut and stuff like that. I wouldn't have even bothered. A couple of weeks ago, when we got them big pumps on them, I would have got rid of them all.
Okay, so the next point, I suppose, is what is going to happen at New York Open.
Yeah.
Because we've got the news, slight rally and
fall off.
Big fat rejection.
Let's see what everyone's thinking.
Chuck it in the chat.
We have 70% of people thinking that we're going up. There is a poll in the chat for those of you that are watching that haven't yet voted. There is a good chunk of people that haven't voted. Go and vote. There's 10 votes on it, 28 people watching. Where do you think we are going on US Open? I want my Weevil to go up.
I am not. It's just grinding down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pure and utter distribution.
SMFC. I'll tell you, SMFC's got an interesting outlook, I think, on the market.
Go on.
SMFC, go on. Put your thoughts in on the wider macro market. Get it in. I know, obviously, I think you put it into the Stonksy Discord and stuff, haven't you?
Is it positive? Is it negative?
I suppose it depends on what side of the fence you sit on.
I'm intrigued.
We are going down.
We're going down.
Let's get. We are going down, he says. So do you think maybe we're now in a position of this is it for the summer, at least?
Me? Nah.
Do you not think?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think it is very, very. The current structure of it is very similar to last cycle, which is really strange.
I think there's very, very high probability that we will have positivity in the not too distant future. I don't know what's going to be the narrative. I've said on countless occasions, I just cannot believe for a minute that market cap wise that we are 20%, was it higher than the peak of the last bull run?
Yeah.
If that is the extent of the bull run, I am never touching crypto ever again.
What you've got to remember as well with that is that Bitcoin is what, about nearly 50% higher. Well, it is, 50% higher than the peak last time as well at the moment. So Bitcoin is basically carrying near it all, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bitcoin is peaked at just below 70 last time. So it is currently around about 50% higher than last cycle's peak.
Bitcoin is, but I'm talking about considering it's a growing sector. I'm not having it at all that is the extent that we only have gone up by a few hundred billion in total market cap for the sector. If it is, then I would suggest we probably don't want to be trading crypto anymore. Be my assertion.
All right. Well, let's see what we get. He says it's the Bitcoin bull run. Altcoins diluted themselves. The dilution on altcoins is definitely a topic for discussion, and I think that's obviously where the next bear market. So my theory on the kind of next couple of years in crypto is that obviously the rest of this cycle plays out, however, and then there will be another bear market, in my opinion. I think now we're starting to see people calling for never another bear market, which I think is always a bad sign, isn't it? It's always just a sign of complacency and just where kind of the market is at when people start saying, there's never another bear market or Bitcoin's never going below this level again. But I think the next bear market will provide definitely a health clean out for the industry. So I think what we'll see next time is obviously a lot of rubbish in terms of the low cap stupid coins that keep launching, but also these large caps that are just basically clinging on to relevancy and clinging on to market share will all get wiped out and killed off properly, get stood on and twisted and everything, and then that will then pave the way for actual, hopefully anyway, actual altcoins that don't just dilute themselves and just die on every Bitcoin 5% drop. And then maybe coming out of that, then obviously all these coins that need to just disappear obviously are burnt, and then out of the ashes we actually get a good altcoin market born again is what my thoughts are on it.
Yes. I'd say I get the some of the arguments. I just cannot or refuse to accept that. There we go. That is it.
There we go. The market is open. Let me check to see if my Weeble thing filled.
Come on, Dave. Tell me you've just made $1 million.
I wish. I wish.
Does it feel, Dave?
Is it what? It has filled, yeah. That's the weird thing, innit? When you go over to something else, it's like you have to wait for like these actual trading times and stuff.
Yeah. It's very sort of inconvenient, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very inconvenient. Right. So have we actually done much? It's just going to bleed down to that bloody CME, isn't it?
Yeah. It looks like it, doesn't it?
Get it over and done with. Bored. Absolutely bored. But I think the initial, to agree with SMFC, I think, as we've discussed before, Dave, that Bitcoin was definitely the play this time round. You'd be much better off just doing that.
Yeah.
But alas, it is what it is. There's always next cycle. There's always this cycle.
Yeah, there is. What's going on here? I don't know how to use this, mate. I'm gonna have to have a look on actually how to use it.
Normally a good way to start when trading. How to use an exchange.
Yeah. Let's see. No. It is quite interesting, like when you. So if I do that, what can I do here? Interesting. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, we've got Bitcoin pumping back up a little bit after dropping down. Yeah, I mean, I think with how close it is, it does make sense to come down and close that gap, doesn't it?
Yeah, at this point, you might just get on and get it done, right?
Yeah. That is obviously where the market is interesting. And also, you know, when you look at it like that too, you know, provide some good sweeps. You know, we'd come and sweep, obviously, the origin of the push up there. So, you know, plenty of stops and liquidity below there. We'd obviously take this out as well and then come into the CME gap. So, you know, we'll come and run any long position still open from down here. People will probably get bearish into the CME gap, and then obviously that will provide the conditions for a bounce from the closure. So
yeah, I just want the bloody the stupid Bitcoin dominance to drop. Bored of that so much.
yeah, it doesn't seem to be. It's really like it's just persistent, isn't it?
What's that, dominant? Well,
Yeah.
you could argue that we're kind of, since the low on the 14th of May, are we starting to form like a rounded shape where it's going to reject?
Yeah.
So, but the thing, do you know what is funny? I don't know about you, Dave. I get multiple messages every single day with new token releases on exchanges.
Yeah.
It's just every single day there's just more and more and more and more. they should all just die.
Yeah, I think it's just more dilution in it.
Yep.
It's just
Same shit, different toilet, basically.
It's more dilution. That obviously the market just definitely does not need.
No. Same old, same old. It's all
Done here.
tedious. To be honest with you.
What am I doing here? There we go.
How's your order triggered, Dave? That's all I want to know.
Yes. Let's see. There we go. I think now. Yeah, there we go. I'm in. That is strange. That is not. Do you know what? For something obviously that's been around for, a lot longer. It's well easier trading on a crypto exchange.
Yeah.
We've got Mr. Delta saying, I know I'm late, but I've got a note from my mum. Doesn't matter, mate. Not good enough. Oh, sitting in the naughty corner. Great to see you, Delta. How we doing, mate? Afternoon, Sean. What's good? What have you missed? Well, just obviously just in weekly wisdom is what you've missed. So big miss. You missed out. I'm still on.
There must be some kind of acronym for that, Dave.
What? Just in weekly wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
AWW.
Yeah. It's a few months off yet. I don't know what you're. What in relation to what W Master? Sorry, I think maybe he's talking about Bitcoin dominance dropping. He thinks maybe it's a bit time away.
Don't agree. I think it's.
But I mean, yeah, the wider
days away.
The wider altcoin market is obviously just kind of waiting, and you can see across it. Apart from them ones that moved at the start of the week, so your Uniswap, your Compound, your ARB, stuff like that. Everything is literally kind of around the same spot as last week. Maybe obviously just probably a little bit down because of Bitcoin's fall down over the last day.
I would just strongly suggest on Sunday evening, or depending on when everyone wakes up, have a look at where the weekly on ETH closes. If it closes above 2,750, it might be time to hold on to your hats, because I think that's a key gain level. But I've always got my positive pants on, Dave, so...
Yeah, well, we'll see, won't we? That's the...
Yeah.
That is the thing. MicroStrategy opened 2.2% down. Let's cover the Mag 7. Let's see what the Mag 7's doing. So Nvidia is up 0.57%. We've got Apple and Meta down slightly. Meta down 0.6%. We have Microsoft up 0.5%. Amazon down 0.5%. Tesla, obviously after recent volatility, recovered exceptionally well. Kind of just looking like maybe. I mean, who knows what it'll do next, but I think obviously here looks like a key region to gain. I always think it's weird trying to do TA on stocks because of the gaps.
Yeah, it's
like it's like really strange, isn't it? But like obviously you can see here, particularly on Tesla, like obviously was having buying pressure around here, and then obviously this flipped to resistance, and then resistance again on yesterday.
I hate it, so I tend to only look at the weekly.
Yeah, makes sense. But I mean that area looks this kind of 335 level, and you can definitely look across there on the past month and say that is SR, even with these gaps formed and stuff like that. So, but yeah, maybe a bit of cool down time for Tesla. Not too sure, but it has had obviously the best volatility out of them. Oh, GameStop is down 19%. Wow, what has caused that? GameStop being hit huge. Anyone know what this GameStop news is? 19% down on GameStop.
I'm Googling, Dave.
Tell me that they've had the Bitcoin holdings hacked. There must be some news coming out of that. It's not had earnings or anything, so there must be some.
GameStop shares slide after earnings miss.
Oh no, wait, that was yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh no, sorry, on Tuesday. That's funny because the earnings come out on Tuesday, and yesterday it was just flat, and then just dumped today massively. Anyway, I don't know, but yeah, GameStop down 18%. Now, what's actually interesting on that is I actually looked at GameStop the other week, and obviously back to 2020, so about a year, obviously just over a year ago. Obviously, this is kind of, the region where it largely held this like $19 to $21 zone is where obviously price was consolidating, and then retested it again in March before it went up. So that's definitely something to watch out for if we do get maybe another 10% drop or so back into that zone of what has been demand over the past year. But yeah, that is big fall off on there. Weeble needs to hurry up and do something. You got to remember, it's weird, isn't it? Because you got to remember that you need patience with this type of stuff now. Like, it's a lot different, isn't it? Circle is fascinating. So, obviously, IPO'd last Thursday, so it's been trading for a week and hasn't fell off at all. So we've not saw any fall off. I do estimate that probably we will see some downside on Circle, as you normally do with anything newly listed. Just when it will be, I don't know.
I'll tell you something interesting I saw.
Go on.
It was showing the earnings of the biggest banks in the world.
Yeah.
US banks.
Yeah.
And so I think it was JP Morgan was number one, and then Bank of America and all that kind of stuff. I think in the top 5 or top 6 was Tether.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And closing fast on the others. They've still got quite a long way to go.
Yeah, but the thing is, the thing with Tesla is their business model is so easy. They just charge people to mint and redeem USDT.
Yeah,
like that's literally it. And then obviously because they've got so much money in T-bills, they're sat there accruing billions and billions and billions every year. Yeah. So then, the past couple of years, they've been buying up Bitcoin mining farms, buying up AI chips. I think it was last year. They bought like 10,000 NVIDIA chips. Like they've been putting their hands in every kind of pocket because they just make so much money. Because they're sat there with. Let's go and have a look. So they've got. Hang on. So there's 155 billion in Tether. So say conservatively 90% of that is in T-bills.
Yeah.
They've got say 100.
And then they hold one of the bigger holdings of Bitcoin as well, aren't they?
Yeah. So you call it 140 billion in T-bills at near 5% a year. That's 7 billion ish.
Yeah.
In just interest revenue.
Yeah.
Then you've got all the redeeming and obviously minting of USDT. The thing is literally a money printing machine.
But so therefore, why are people so neggy on Tether and Tether is going to go bust? Tether's going to do this. It's going to get
because it's not been where obviously Circle is obviously now a public company, but it's like regulated in the US. Tether's trouble, and obviously where all the FUD comes in of if it's everything's backed and stuff like that, is because none of the big 4 accounting firms would touch them. Right. So none of the big 4 accounting firms were willing to go in and actually audit Tether's reserves and give them a stamp of approval. Where I think it came out a few weeks ago. The CEO said that they've actually had one of them say that they'll do it. So I don't know whether this has been released or not. Maybe someone knows, or maybe they've had the audit released. But I think finally they've had one of the big 4 accounting firms say, "Yeah, we'll do you an audit."
Yeah.
And I think the reason that they've not been willing to do it is because of obviously these accounting firms' ties to TradFi.
Yeah. But the thing is, so it was showing like the revenues of the big banks, including Tether, and like I say, they were right up there. And it's still a long way off JP Morgan, but like JP Morgan's got 250,000 employees, and I think Tether had like 100.
Yeah, literally, yeah. And you got to remember as well, JP Morgan's got all these branches and everything. Tether's probably just got one office.
Yeah.
That's all, or maybe 2 offices or whatever, and that's all they need because the business model is just so easy.
Yeah.
If you go and mint $1 billion into USDT, say you're paying I don't know, say you're paying like 0.1%. What would that be? God, I've done myself there, haven't I? That'd be, what would that be? Would that be $1 million? It'd be $1 million, wouldn't it? 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've then instantly made $1 million. I don't know what the rates are, but just an example. And it doesn't really, all they've got to do is mint USDT on whatever chain this person wants.
Yeah.
So easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when that IPOs, because that thing, like, they release their own. Obviously, they're not a public company, but they release their own earnings.
Yeah.
When that thing, if they ever go public, that is one way you can say like they will just hit their earnings every single quarter, no matter what.
Yeah.
And it will be fascinating. Circle's come out. Currently, Circle's at a 25 billion market cap after IPO, and USDT is just over. It's 2.5x the size of USDC. So, I mean, God knows what market cap that would translate to in terms of actual like stock value. But yeah, I mean, you gotta like for these ones, like your stable coin issuers, Circle and Tether, and then your exchanges. They are just like very simple money printing machines, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like
yes.
The fact that Tether can sit there and just make more money than the majority of banks without having any branches, without having more than 100 employees, without having to handle, well, obviously, I know actually people will have accounts, won't they? But, they'll probably do it all out of 1 or 2 offices. It's ludicrous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very, 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 very good business model. And yeah, that's why I was always intrigued to see why people were so fuddy on it.
Yeah. And I think that's it. It's just because of the fact that no accounting firm would touch them. But I mean, you go and look at it as well, Justin. It's crazy, really. It's only 6 years ago when Tether's market cap was 2 billion. In 6 years, the company has grew. I don't know. I don't know why I keep asking maths. Yeah, 80x of assets under management.
Yeah.
Like that's just insane, isn't it?
That is if you're a investor, I think you'll be pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
Pretty happy.
But yeah, I think when that thing, if they ever get round to IPOing, that will be fascinating to see what that does.
Yeah.
Because you would imagine, it could fit you. In saying that though, I don't actually know where the headquarters is, so we probably wouldn't see it on the US stock market.
I think, isn't it El Salvador?
It might be, yeah. Maybe they moved themselves. So what stock market would that even go on to?
Tether. Head office.
I don't even know where that would list if they wanted to list, unless
El Salvador.
Yeah. So I don't know if anyone knows the answer to that question. Where's Wiz when you need him?
Yeah.
If they wanted to list, what stock market would they have to list on? Or would they maybe open up headquarters in New York or something, and maybe be able to do it that way. I don't know, but then you're subject to US regulatory guidelines and stuff, aren't you?
So it does say here someone that the Wikipedia, and it says Tether is Limited is owned by iFinex, a company based in the BVI, which also operates the Bitfinex crypto exchange. Didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a sister company to it, I think.
There you go.
Because I think they chop around employees. So like this guy who's now the CEO of Tether, he was like a co. Where is he? Oh, hang on. He was like a co. Oh yeah, there you go. CEO of Tether, and he still is CTO at Bitfinex. Like you imagine the money he's on. Imagine that. It's the CEO of Tether, but it's still obviously CTO at Bitfinex as well.
Is Bitfinex glass?
It's one. It's. I think it's like the OG Bitcoin exchange, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
It's like the one I think where it must be one of the oldest, but I think it's like one where all like the OGs was trading on after BitConnect happened and stuff.
Where is CMA data?
There you go. Oh, I've actually got the information here that we've just been talking about. So this was published. Where's that gone? No, where's that gone? Here. This was published on the 1st of May. So at the 1st of May, they had $120 billion in US treasuries. In Q1 of this year, they had $1 billion in operating profits. They had $5.6 billion in excess reserves, so they had $5.6 billion in cash. It's just like that is probably it probably goes a bit under the radar, but Tether is probably the biggest empire in the whole of crypto, really.
Yes, 100%.
Like it's the biggest superpower because they've got so much control, so much money, and obviously the industry just relies on them heavily. Like if anything was to happen to Tether, it's like a house of cards, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got Mr. Del saying, I have a question, Dave. Do you think the 4-year cycle is now obsolete? I don't think so, no. I mean, obviously, the 4-year cycle could still be in play with a top this year, couldn't it? If Bitcoin topped this year, which obviously it's just made a new all-time high, so technically it's on track to, then it would still fit in with that kind of 4-year cycle thing. I think obviously just at the moment, the focus is on obviously ETFs and then just public companies buying in it. And then obviously, the possibility of nations buying.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of, give it another 2 years and then it will probably be the talk of, the Bitcoin halving's coming up again in a year, 18 months or whatever. And then it will probably just flip back to, a halving countdown and everyone will then start be talking about the halving again. There probably will come a point, maybe in the next 2 halvings or something, where obviously the supply is cut down that much where it will become less and less. Interesting, yeah. Unless obviously Bitcoin is exponentially higher. So, if Bitcoin's like 6x higher than it is now, then obviously that Bitcoin, even that is spat out in another 2 halvings, will still be worth a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but there probably will come a time, yeah, where kind of just no one's really bothered about the halvings anymore because
I still think they will. Like I said, the next one, yes. The one after that we might get one more decent cycle, I'd say.
Yeah, so that's probably that's probably it. So it's probably still got some relevancy for the next few cycles, maybe. But I mean, yeah, the attention is obviously on ETFs and companies buying and stuff. Scottish says, how about SPX? Yeah, we covered that at the start of the stream, mate. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, Scottish has been a big SPX bull. He was even bull posting it at the lows, to be fair to him. So you deserve that, Scottish. Just remember, obviously,
profit.
at some point, pay yourself, mate. Don't get caught up in the euphoria. Obviously, whether that's wherever you've got outlined for you to pay yourself, just make sure you pay yourself. Don't bag hold it all the way down. But yeah, you deserve it, mate. You deserve it for obviously keeping faith in it, accumulating more at the lows, and being and bullish on it. So yeah, well done. Cocker Spaniel says, I don't know if I can trust a naked face. That's fine. Not really overly bothered. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us for today's stream. It's been a great one having Justin on. Obviously, big thank you to you, mate, for coming on again.
Pleasure as always, Dave.
But yeah, do make sure you all drop a big like on the stream. Make sure you are subscribed, and of course, make sure you click them links in the description. Sign up to BLOFIN, the best non-KYC exchange, and we are still running the 20% off Stonksy. So you can get that second link in the description, or for you people over on X, you can find it at stonksy.io or in the X bio. And it is this one that you want, the monthly one. Code BOT20 in at checkout on this, and you will get 20% off your first month, and you do get access to everything: the indicator, oscillator, Discord server, and trading bots. But yeah, that's all from us today. Thank you for joining. Have a great rest of your day, and catch you all tomorrow.
See you, Dave. Bye, Rob.
See you, mate. Bye-bye.